That's why I'm again proposing that we reduce the unemployment insurance payments that employers make by half. This will result in nearly $1 billion in savings, which will flow through businesses of all sizes to communities across our state.
You would think that if somebody told you that the Republican Party was going to still be trying to sell you trickle down economics in 2025, that your answer would be, get the fuck out of here, man. We have proven that to be a bullshit economic philosophy decades ago. And here we are. Governor of Iowa talking about reducing how much the employers pay into unemployment insurance by half, so that it would result in a nearly $1 billion savings for the employers. And then, as you heard her say, that savings will flow throughout our communities. The employers are going to save $1 billion, and then they're going to give it to you. You buy that? And I'm approaching this as somebody that owns businesses, right? So let's just make sure we're clear. We're not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but if you cut my taxes as a business, that doesn't mean it's going to go into the hands of the people who work for and with us. It doesn't mean it's going to go into the hands of people who might work for and with us in the future. I've done this video before. We're going to do it again. Just let's simplify this. For the people who still believe in trickle-down economics, let's simplify this. Let's say you own a screen door manufacturing company in Madison, Wisconsin. You make 100,000 screen doors a year. You employ 100 people. And you pay, let's just say as a round number, you pay 35% in taxes to the federal government. You give your employees a decent, livable wage with some benefits, some paid vacation. You provide health insurance. You give them maybe you have a 401k, right? You do good by your employees. You're making money. Everybody's rolling. You're meeting the demand for your screen doors, and you're paying the federal government 35%. One day, the federal government comes to you and says, "Hey, we're going to lower your corporate tax rate from 35 to 25." 35% down to 25%. So you get an extra 10% in your pocket. Are you going to go out and hire more employees? No, you're not. And if you said you were, you're a shitty employer right off the bat. The only metric that changed is that you got to keep more of your money. Demand for your screen doors didn't go up. The price of your materials didn't change. Nothing like that. The only factor that changed was you got to keep more of your money. So if the demand for your screen doors is still the same, and you take that extra 10% that you get to save and you run out and you hire more employees, then you're making the same amount of screen doors, only with more overhead. That makes you a piss poor business owner. People will say you're going to give raises to your employees. Maybe. Historically, that hasn't been the case whenever these massive corporate tax breaks happen. And the reason why is because tax code comes and goes depending on who's in power, right? So if you give your employees a raise now based on the fact that you get to keep 10% more of your taxes, and then governmental control switches and you go back to paying 35%, now you're stuck with a bunch of higher salaries, higher wages that you can't go back on, and now you're making less money. Are you going to give it to your employees in the form of bonuses? Maybe. Once again, historically, not what happens when these things happen. We don't see a rash of blue-collar workers getting bonuses whenever we see these corporate tax breaks. And why is that? Well, because if you give a bonus this year and then party power switches next year and you go back to paying 35% and you don't give out bonuses next year, you've set a precedence this year that now your employees are going to be expecting next year. Tom, you're going to invest in new equipment to manufacture your screen doors. Maybe. Once again, historically, not what happens. And if you don't need new equipment, now you're spending money just to spend money. Tom, you're going to invest it in R&D. How much R&D do you think some small manufacturer of screen doors in Madison, Wisconsin is going to put into researching and developing screen doors? You know what I'm saying? It's another bullshit argument. So what historically happens when these massive corporate tax breaks happen? When the people at the top get to keep more of their money. They pocket it. They give themselves a bonus and they figure out a way to pocket it. When you're talking about the corporations, the big corporations, they buy back stock. They give their corporate board bonuses, not the working class, and they buy back stock. That's what happens when you enact trickle-down economics. It doesn't trickle down. How many times have you seen a rich person been given more money and they went, you know what? Everybody else needs this money, not me. That's what the Republicans would have you believe. If we just make sure that rich people get to earn and keep, or not earn, keep more of their money, then eventually they're just going to give it to you because they're going to have so much money, they're going to have no choice but to give it to you. Doesn't work that way. Now look at the flip side of that script. You're a screen door manufacturer in Madison, Wisconsin. You make 100,000 screen doors, you employ 100 people, you pay 35% taxes. Now the federal government goes to the workers of your screen door and says, hey, we're dropping your taxes by 10%. And now a shit ton of people in and around Madison, Wisconsin, or in the Midwest, or in the country in general, have more money at the end of their paycheck every week. People like that spend that money much more readily, right? The rich people invest it, put it in the bank, buy more toys with it. They don't necessarily get it out into the rank and file economy of America. Blue collar workers do. So now the workers of that screen door manufacturer have more money at the end of every week, which means more money at the end of every month, which means they're spending more in their communities. They're going out to eat. They're going to movie theaters. They're going to plays. They're going to concerts, maybe taking a vacation. And some people are sitting around at the end of the month at the kitchen table figuring out their bills like they tend to do month in and month out. And they go, hey, we make a little bit more money now at the end of the month. We finally have the money that we need to replace that screen door that you've been complaining about. Now demand for your screen doors goes up. Now without touching your tax rate, but by giving a tax rate to the people who work for you, demand for your screen doors goes up, which means you have to make more screen doors. So you got to do one of two things. You either got to work your current employees overtime, which puts more money into their pocket, which puts more money into their community, or you have to hire more people to meet the demand, which puts more people on the streets with money in their pocket, spending it in their community. That's how you grow an economy. From the bottom up, not the top down. The tree grows from the roots up, not from the leaves down. And while the tree can't survive with no leaves for an extended period of time, the tree does show you year in and year out that it can survive a prolonged period of time without the leaves, as long as it has its roots. The working class of any economy is the engine of that economy. You need wealthy people too, to a certain degree. Somebody needs to work in the office building and somebody needs to build the office building, but you do not grow an economy by giving tax breaks to the top. You grow an economy by giving tax breaks to the bottom and the middle, and you watch it grow from there.